Light and blessed shamanic Awak priestess here. I thought I was recording and I wasn't. I didn't press record, so there you go. This is my monthly recap, wrap up, favorites, whatever you want to call it. This is pretty much letting you know how the month of November has been for me. This video, I'm recording it towards the ending of November, right before Thanksgiving, because I'm going to be busy with Thanksgiving. And then a lot of my videos that you guys watch are usually recorded in the summer. They were recorded maybe months or weeks ahead, because pre-recording videos is what's working for me. So when you guys make video suggestions, I will eventually get to them. But December is going to be very busy for me, and January, because of the fact that I'm doing the classes. So a lot of my videos are already topics that were already recorded and things of that nature. So towards the new year, I'm going to catch up on more of the subscriber suggestions and things like that. So keep sending me your suggestions and I'll let you know if I am going to be recording those, and I will do that, okay? Alrighty then. So in the month of November, I worked a lot with my solar plexus chakra, and I worked a lot with self-esteem. I have a video that I recorded that's gonna talk more about this topic. But pretty much, as any human being, and again, I'm gonna actually I actually have a video that talks more about self-worth and things like that. So please watch that when I upload that. Sometimes we all struggle with like validation and self-worth and self-pride and things like that. So I really, our confidence and things like that. So I really worked with that the first 8 to 10 days of November. And as everybody knows, I usually create a crystal grid that focuses on that. So pretty much crystal grids for me are good for chakra work and healing work in my practice. So the crystals that I used for that in this month was the raw honey calcite. I actually used this piece actually this is one of the pieces in it that was actually in my crystal grid that I dismantled because I'm working on a different chakra now. So I used honey calcite, which is like a very gentle energy for me. I used my new acquired crystal, the serpentine heart crystal, which is good for the heart chakra, but which I also find it good for self-love as well. So just love. Healing karmic relationships, I find this one is good for serpentine heart crystal. I also find it is good for self-love, chakra, but I feel like it's also good for the solar plexus when we're trying to treat self-worth and self-love and things like that. So I touching it now, I could just feel it, like it already raised my vibration. I have a very strong connection to that one. And it's like I've never heard of the crystal, and I forgot whose video I was watching, and they mentioned it, and I bought it because I really try not to buy too many crystals unless I'm spiritually called to buy them. Raw rose quartz. I'm one of those people that I don't mind if something's tumbled or raw. I don't really notice a difference. But what in the case of rose quartz, I never connected to the tumbled ones or the wands or anything. But when rose quartz is in its raw state, I do connect with it, and because this was one that I struggled to ever connect with. I really didn't like rose quartz, and a lot of people seem to, and I just never did until I got raw pieces of it, and then I felt it. Like I was able to do a lot of healing work when it came to romantic love, self-love, and relationships with others, and things of that nature. Citrine was another crystal that I worked with when I was working with the solar plexus. I also worked with, oh, I didn't bring it out. Give me 1 second, guys. Give me 1 second. All right, guys. So I had to pause the video real quick because something fell and broke. Nothing bad, but anyways. So, and I thought I didn't have my peach calcite, but I did. I thought I lost like a whole peach calcite, and I was like mad sad about it, but I didn't. So yes, this, and I also worked with the peach calcite. This is Why Are You Wobbly and Shaky? Like, I don't like that. There we go. So I worked with peach calcite, and this is what I created my solar plexus chakra grid around. Like, I love this raw piece of calcite. Like, it's just beautiful. Like, I love calcite. I work with it in various different colors. I also worked with the solar plexus uh, tiger's eye for the solar plexus chakra, different pieces of it, and rutilated quartz. I don't know if you guys can see it. It has like little yellow in it. And I also, which is gone now, burned a lot of solar plexus chakra incense. So yes, I did that. And talking about incense, I've also been loving working with this nice, as you can see it, I'm going through it, meditation incense from Walmart. It's like really good. I usually don't talk too much about incense in the channel other than healing, but it's only $1. It's inexpensive and stuff like that. Like, it's worth getting. So I like it. It smells nice. It smells nice, and it smells nice, and it smells clean. And I love using it when I'm either meditating or doing my reads, things like that. Like when I just want a nice sense of like calm. All right, so that was the solar plexus chakra. I also, and I'm currently still working on my third eye. So insight. And this has to do more with insight on myself. Seeing things for what they are, listening to the message the Spirit is sending to me, and not doubting myself when it comes to reading myself and working with myself in my healing practices and things like that. So I don't doubt what I see for other people, but sometimes I doubt what I see for myself, you know, so pretty much there. And I do need to charge up my third eye chakra because, you know, I do professional readings for those that are new to my channel. So I always have to keep that nice and vibrated so I can give the best readings possible, because most of my practice is reading for others and doing spiritual work for others, of course for myself too, but reading myself is not the biggest part of my practice. It's actually my professional readings. That's something I do anywhere from 5 to 6 days a week on a full-time basis for hours and hours at a time because my practice, my online business does keep me busy. So I burned the third eye chakra, and I still have, I think, like one left. So finishing up my work with the third eye and the crystals that I used to balance that chakra out. This beautiful selenite heart. I've also been using various pieces of howlite, lapis lazuli. I have another piece, but I have a crystal grid. I don't want to dismantle it. So I just showing you my spare piece. I have more of a tumbled, bigger piece on my crystal grid. And I've been working with the fabulous lepalite and a tumbled celestite. And this is more lepalite. Okay, so these are just repeating stones that I keep on a glass tray whenever I want to feel that chakra energy. And beautiful fluorite. So those are the crystals that I've been working with in the month of November. And the chakras that I've been working with in the month of November. An honorable mention when I'm going to talk about my decks that I've been working with this month, which I've been working with decks that are more than I usually do. I usually have one deck that I use and I rotate on a monthly basis, usually towards the ending of the month. So pretty much every, like once the month is like the last day or two of the month, I'm going to switch to a new deck and then use it for the rest of the upcoming month, things like that. so on and so forth. I usually use one deck for professional readings, one tarot deck, and then I rotate either bi-weekly with decks that I use for my personal healing and readings for myself and things like that, because I do keep those energies separated. But this month I worked with a lot of decks, so I'm going to be sharing that with you. And the reason why I was doing that is because I've been really trying to keep my collection at 30, either 30 decks, and that's including tarot, oracle, and now Lenormand. Either at 30 or under 30. So if a new deck comes in, another deck comes out. I have made a swap with someone on YouTube, so I acquired. So I'll be acquiring. So because 2 decks were added to my practice, 2 decks came out of my practice pretty much. So whatever I get new, I take out something that doesn't resonate with me or I haven't been using. So I wanted to see which decks were going to stay in my collection and which decks I was going to move on and rehome and things like that. So that's why I was doing that, because we're getting closer to the ending of 2019. And I've just been really purging. I went from 63 decks to what I have now, 30. And I got rid of more because I added new decks this year, like, in these last couple of months. So I got rid of like almost all of my decks and things like that. Okay, so this is an honorable mention because I recently acquired this in the month of November, and it's the Spirit of Halloween Tarot. I haven't worked with it yet. I'm going to be working with it. It's a beautiful deck. There's a couple of cards here that I don't really like the Hierophant, Voodoo Warlock. There's no such thing as a Voodoo Warlock. And then they have, I think, the Death card. I think it's the Death card. No, it's not the Death card. It's not the Devil card. Oh, goodness. Well, like I said, it's a beautiful deck other than that card. And there's like another card. I'm trying to find it. I believe it's on the... I don't even know. I should have probably taken this card out. I think it's like in the minors. But anyway, it's a Baron Samedi card. And the name is misspelled. It's Baron Samedi. And they spelled it like with a O-D-I. And he's very big spirit in voodoo, in Haitian voodoo. So this card, I have like trouble with it and why he's in the pentacles. I mean, he does take care of our earthly needs, but I love the artwork in it. It's just the name is misspelled. So that's kind of like when people try to do exclusive stuff. I really do prefer research and things like that. But other than that, so 2 cards out of 78 cards. I could still see myself working with this deck, and one of my beautiful clients got me the deck, so I'll be working with it. I want to see how it reads for me because I love the artwork in it, and I would like to know why they chose each of the archetypes for each of the suits and each of the cards. So this is different, but I like it. It's good quality and things like that. Like I said, it's like 2 cards that I don't like on the deck. So, but I'm gonna still try to work with it, and I'll let you guys know how that goes. And again, I can do a full walkthrough of it if you guys would like me to do that. And I love the deck, so I don't want the person who bought me the deck to think I'm not gonna use it, or I'm not gonna I don't like it, because I do, and I appreciate it so much. So okay, for some reason the deck doesn't want to go back in the box, so we're just gonna put it on the side so we could get the video moving. Okay, so that's an honorable mention. Now the decks I actually worked with, I'm gonna start with I'm gonna just go by order, so in the order that I have them out. So the Modern Day Witch Tarot was the deck that I worked with the first week of November. Okay, and everything wants to fall on the floor. Ugh. Okay, let me see here. Okay. I don't like my cards to fall, and I picked them up because I don't want to accidentally roll into the cards and mess up my cards. So I probably should have paused the video, but I didn't. Anyways, I will continue on. See what I mean? Like the deck is full. It's like I don't want to be on the video. Okay. All right. So this is the backs of the cards. I did work with this deck, and I did appreciate it. And things like that. I love the intention behind this. This truly is a modern take on the Rider-Waite-Smith. Extremely inclusive. I did a walkthrough on this on one of my hauls this month. You can see all the cards. But I love the deck itself. I like that it kept traditional symbology in there. It has witches from all different lifestyles, color spectrum, ethnicity, nationalities, races, and things like that, and genders and different body type. Like it's really what I would call a truly inclusive deck. The card stock, however, is just way too thick for me because I like to rifle shuffle. And see, like I have a hard time with this really thick card stock. So I wasn't able to use it like I kind of wanted to. I wanted to like use it for professional readings, but it's just too thick for me. So I am using it on myself, and I did enjoy working with it, but I didn't connect with it like I really wanted to. Like it was accurate, and I'm still gonna keep it in my collection. But I think I'm gonna work with this one more. It wasn't like the connection that I thought I was gonna have with it. You know what I mean? Like that soul connection. I didn't get that from this deck, but I like it for what it is, and I do want to keep it in my I want to keep it in my collection. I think that it'll be one of those decks that eventually I will have that connection with it, you know? Like the Will of the Year became my soul deck, but I worked with it for a while before I actually connected with it. And then there's decks that you connect with them as soon as you get them out the box. So I think this is one that I'm going to have to, you know, work with more. The suit that really was the Stalker suit, I got a lot of pentacle related readings with this. A lot of earthly, grounding, financial messages, and things of that nature. So yes. And then with the Odisha Tarot, which was the second deck that I worked with for myself. The guidebook is everything with this deck, just letting you know. I loved it. Like, I loved working with it. I worked with it the second week of November for myself. And I have a full walkthrough of this one. This was a stalker card for me, the Two of Wands. And I got a lot of the Emperor and a lot of like the major arcana. But the Emperor and the Two of Wands in this deck. In this deck, I do use the guidebook because the guidebook is everything. Resonated with me very well. So I got some really great readings. I love this deck so much. This definitely is a keeper for me. When I used it, I was like, yep, I'm going to keep this one in my collection because I love it that much. You know, there you go. And I kind of knew when I got it that I was going to connect with it. You know how you just know? Like I knew, you know? The next deck I'm going to talk about is the Mermaid Tarot by Lisa Robertson. I love the guidebook in this one too. I love guidebooks. I still read with them. I've been reading professionally. I've been reading tarot for many, many years, and I still like I'm not new to it, and I still love the guidebooks and things like that. So, okay. So this is the Mermaid Tarot, and I loved working with this one too. I got a lot of darker messages, reversal cards with this one, but also uplifting messages. So this deck is also inclusive, which I completely love. It reads really, really good for me. The messages were very accurate, very predictive, and it went well with the Ask Your Spirit Guide Oracle deck. Like the messages will match. Like I got the Hermit on this one, and then I got like on the Ask Your Spirit Guide Oracle deck, I got like I usually don't pair tarot with oracle, especially for myself, but for some reason Spirit wanted me to do that, and I would get like okay. I would get like solitude, and they will go with hermit, or I would get take a rest, and then I would get like the Four of Swords, which is all about resting. So like the messages, it was like so exactly the same with a different system. So I was like, whoa, like this deck kind of surprised me a lot when I worked with it in the third week of November. Like I was like, whoa. So I don't, I know people are like, oh, you know, those decks, some people don't take them seriously because they're cartoonish and they're not like scary or spooky, or there's not skeletons in it and all this stuff. But I like this kind of art style. Like I like cartoonish. I like pretty, like I just like that stuff. Because I can get any type of reading with decks like that. And this one, I feel like people might think it's a soft deck, but it's not. So I got some scary accurate, but also like some like whoa, and some like no BS type of readings with it. So yeah, so that was the Mermaid Tarot. I'm like dropping things everywhere in this video. I am not going to edit. We're just gonna keep on going because we're already 22 minutes in. Okay. The Lenormand was a deck that I used on myself too. So the Mermaid Tarot is gonna stay in my collection. This one is the Easy Lenormand. I don't have the box, or do I have the box? Oh yeah, the box, I have it right here. Okay. The Easy Lenormand. I had to pretty much send the spare copy back because it had damaged cards, and they replaced it on Amazon for me. And Llewellyn sent me the damaged cards too. So I got really good customer service for this one. I love this one. This is a clean. I wanted like a clean one, a more traditional Lenormand to do study. So I've been studying Lenormand this month and doing test reads for myself and things like that, because I don't want to provide it as a service yet. Until I'm a little bit more comfortable with it, if that makes sense. I'm like that with any new system or any new decks or any things like that that I add on to my professional reading practice for clients and things of that nature. You know, you guys are paying me. I want to make sure the guidebook, not too crazy about it. I'm using a different book for studying the Lenormand. So yeah, it was okay. Like it could have gone into more details and stuff like that. So okay, so this one is the Lenormand Oracle and things of that nature. The next deck that I used in the month of November, I used this one for professional readings, was the beautiful Morgan Greer. I loved it. I used this for like the first half, like the first 2 weeks of November, maybe a week and a half. I was planning to use it for the whole month of November, but ended up being called to use another deck. So yes, I'm going to be keeping this. Amazing readings that I get with it. If you hear like stuff, I have kids walking around and doing things. I got amazing readings from it and things like that. I love it. It's a good reader for me. I have a really deep soul connection to it, and things like that. So I love it for clients. However, I was drawn to try the new deck that I got, and I did test readings on it, and Spirit told me to use it on the clients because I have a long history of cartomancy. So it wasn't like I didn't know how to read these cards. It's just I didn't know if I wanted to use this particular deck, if it was going to read well for me, because this one is tarot and cartomancy. However, the readings that I got with this, amazing. I test read myself with it. I test read my oldest and my second oldest. I test read some of their friends with it. Some friends of theirs are newer, so I don't know their personal life, and they got freaked out by it. And then Spirit was like, "You need to use this on your clients." So I had this deck and another deck that the Morgan Greer right next to it, just in case if it didn't connect, I could switch over during the reading. Never switched over because it was an instant, like it just like I don't know, like having no like illustrations has always been something that really opens up that psychic ability to me and things like that. Like sometimes I want right away, and sometimes I just want to go back to cartomancy. But I wanted a deck that incorporated tarot and cartomancy because I love the 78 cards and things like that. I think this is perfect. And I love it. Like I love Marcel and things like that and all that. But this is my favorite form of divination. I love cartomancy. So I love that I went back to this. Like this sings for me. Despite the fact that the court cards are different and they're not facing different, like they're not facing the side, which I do read directionally when I read the court cards of playing cards. I have my own, I can't explain it, but I have my own system when it comes to that. Even with that, I have to say this is just an amazing deck. I love it. Like literally already started chipping because I've used it so much in the month of November. So this, and then I got this little like black and gray because like the deck is like that, like it has its own pouch and all that good stuff. Like I really loved working with the Arcana playing cards. It is definitely a deck that's going to be on my rotation for professional readings. So that's a keeper. That's going to be staying. Like it is amazing. Like I haven't had a connection with a deck like that in a long time when it comes to professional readings. So that one's definitely one of my top 6 because I only use 6 and I rotate them every other month, like every month, so they get at least used for 2 months out of the year. And this one's going to be on that rotation. The Wheel of the Year. Okay, I use this one towards more of the ending of November. So towards the ending of the 3rd week, going into that 4th week, I'm going to keep it in my collection as well. So I got to siphon about decks that are coming and going, and so far the decks that I work with, they're staying. They are staying. There's some that I'm going to be working with in December that I'm questioning if they're staying or going. So in November favorites, you'll see the rest of the ones that I'm testing. So this one is a keeper. And I have it in this yellow and red because this deck is so bright. So like putting it in the red pouch resonates with me. So that's the Wheel of the Year. I love that deck. I'm always talking about it. It is my baby. And I love it for professional readings. And then Oracle is something I thought I was done with, other than the chakra cards and the Halloween tarot. I'm not an Oracle person anymore. This deck left my collection and got returned back to me because the person who I gave it to didn't connect with it. And I was like, why did I let you go? I'm glad that it came back. I love this deck so much. Shadow. it is an amazing one. This one, I'm gonna do a walkthrough of it. I've never seen it on YouTube. And I feel like it's such an underappreciated deck. It has light and shadow, and if you go by the guidebook, like, you'll get some readings with this. I completely love it for shadow work and just, I don't know how to explain it. Like, this deck is on point. And when I was using the Mermaid Tarot, like, the messages matched. And I'm using the Afro-Brazilian Tarot, and the messages match. Like, this deck is like, why did I even think of purging you? Like, this is the type of oracle decks I like. This is a soul oracle deck. Like, I love it. I've used it on clients. I've used it on myself. This is one of those decks that I don't mind using on clients and myself. You know, I love it. I've had it for years. It's one of my very first oracle decks, and it will not, again, be leaving my collection. It is here to stay. Spirit was like, nope, I'm returning it back to you. What were you even thinking? And that kind of thing. And then last but not least, I worked with the Afro-Brazilian Tarot. And like I was saying with the Ask Your Spirit Guides, that's the name of the deck. Sorry, because I'm like showing you the oracle deck and then I'm not telling you. I'm not telling you what deck it is. I have a bad habit of doing that. I have the little guidebook in here. Extra Guides, Oracle Cards by Sonia Choquette. I'll put that there. It's a great deck. Like, I love it. Like, I'm gonna do a walkthrough of it and things like that, because I want to, like, share it. Like, it's, yeah, it's a deck that I love. All right, so I'm gonna do like a review, I guess. This is the deck that I'm still working with. It's your Afro-Brazilian Tarot, and it's amazing. I get really powerful reads from this one. Very intuitive, psychic hits. This one really feels so, like, spiritual to me, and the artwork, everything about this deck just speaks to my very soul. Okay, I thought we were recording and I paused again. So last but not least, this is your Afro-Brazilian Tarot. And I love working with it. It is like gorgeous, beautiful, amazing deck. I don't know if I cut myself off. This is like such a messy video. When I was talking about my connection with the Ask Your Spirit Guides, look at the artwork, guys. Like, oh, this deck scares me because it gives me some scary readings, but like, it's good. I might use this for clients in the future. I might not. I don't know. But I know that for me, it's definitely a good one. And that's the Afro-Brazilian. I was talking about the Mermaid Tarot deck, and I talked about how that's going to be a keeper. Okay, and how great the readings were with that. Just to recap, in case that didn't come out on video, because I'm not going to re-record this video. I'm just not going to. It's like 33 minutes in, almost 34 minutes in, and I'm like, wait, I paused it. Why is it paused? So I don't know if I talked and then accidentally paused right before. I don't know. If it's really bad, then I'll watch it back and possibly re-record the video, but I don't know yet. And then I was talking about this one, which is Ask Your Guides. And I was saying how this is good. I'm going to do a walkthrough of this one. How this one's a good reader for me. And I ended up getting rid of it and ended up getting it back. Because the person that this has a good balance of light and shadow. The person that I gave it to ended up giving it back to me. So it came back into my collection. So I'm going to be doing a deck review of this one. I really feel like it's never talked about. But it reads well with anything. Like, I don't usually use tarot and oracle together from readings for myself. I usually just use one deck at a time. But I wanted to see if this deck was meant to be in my collection again, because I had stopped using it. It wasn't that I never connected to it, but I did. But you know how sometimes you connect to something and then you outgrow that thing? I thought that was the case with this oracle deck because it got lost in the shuffle, so I wanted to give it to a home, but it came right back to me. And I started reading with it the last 2 weeks of November. So when I was reading the Mermaid Tarot, and when I was using the it was the Mermaid Tarot and the Afro-Brazilian Tarot, like all the readings, they match with each other. Like they completely match with each other. And I'm like, that's crazy. So definitely a sign for the universe that the deck is meant to be in my collection. And, you know, I want to share the decks that really speak to me, that I have that connection with. Walkthroughs are great, but it's nice when someone makes a video and they talk about decks that really connect to them. I mean, look at this. I mean, look at this, like the reverence that this person has. A lot of people don't know in Afro-Caribbean religions, the sun is very sacred. So he's, in certain cultures and sects, that actually is the symbolism of God, of creator. And he's just giving reverence. We do salute the sun for those that are initiated in the mornings and things like that. And look how this ties with it, discipline. Because the person on the Afro-Brazilian Tarot got up in the morning. They are putting their hands up and just like showing reverence and respect. And when you show reverence and respect to nature, that is a form of discipline. Another key word on the oracle deck is master teacher. You know, the ancestors are, in the Afro-Brazilian Tarot on the card 19, the master teacher, right? Going to divinity for those lessons, those spiritual lessons. So see, it matches. I just really, really love it. So that's pretty much been my month of November. Just a lot of self-love work, a lot of trusting my insight. I've been journaling more. My reads, I don't do it all the time, but I've been doing it more often. Also, I've been doing a lot of healing work on myself. Because I just feel that I need to do that. I need to give myself self-love. And that's why I made a decision that I'm going to take a hiatus on spell work. I'm going to finish up the last clients that booked spells with me and finish that off. And I'm going to take a break. So I took spell work off my shop because for the next 2 months, I'm not doing spells for anybody outside of myself and things like that or whatever. I'm not going to be doing that right now for clients because there's a lot of things that I need to work on for myself. I am expanding my business. I have these classes that are going to take a lot of my time, and I have to balance that out with my professional readings, which is what is the meat and bones of my business, and things like that. There are going to be a few clients that I'm going to take on when it comes to spell work. You know what I mean? Even when I'm taking a hiatus. And this might carry out to the future. I have to give you a consultation to know if I'm willing to work with you and the spirits are willing to work with you. And if you're willing to see it through. Because buying a spell and then never reading with me afterwards and then never hearing about it or whatever, and then your stuff doesn't pan out is not how that works. When you hire a root worker, you have to do your follow-up reads. You have to see where the energy is going, and we have to continue to manifest what we want. This is a working relationship that you have to be willing to see it through all the way through, and things like that. So we could continue to work on the obstacles and things like that. So you can't just one-time book something and disappear and then like that, because it's not going to work. You're going to self-sabotage, which I'll talk about in another video. But you need to know if you're going to make the financial, emotional, and mental investment. So I'm going to be more particular about the people that I choose to do spell work with and do spiritual work with. That's what I'm being drawn to do. So it's going to be something that I'm not going to advertise on my site. It's going to be something that I do on the side, and it's going to be something that I do on a more inclusive basis. So if you want to work with me when it comes to that stuff, please email me on my contact, and then you have to book a consultation. And I will see if the spirits want to work with you. And you have to be willing to do what it takes to get what you want. So I need to see dedication on the side of the clients, not just on my part. Okay? Because I just don't want to waste the spirit's time if you're not willing to do the work. And things like that. So I think that's more than fair. Because spell work and spiritual work takes too much energy. and I have to raise my prices for my workings because it's just monetary is not logical. Like it's so much time and effort and stuff. It's not even like I'm barely breaking even. Like it doesn't make any sense. So that's why I said you have to be willing to make the monetary, emotional, mental investment. I have a second session of classes I'm going to be doing in spring of 2020 where I'm going to teach people to do things for themselves and people that are just getting into spirituality and stuff like that and they kind of want to go. And there's more details about my classes on my website. That's actually included the pricing and the details about it is on my website. The link is always on the description bar. So you guys can get the pricing and a description. If you have any questions after clicking on store and seeing the information on the Hoodoo classes, there's no ratings on it because nobody's taken the classes yet. So that's why. Because I always approve when people actually leave time to review things. Please, for those that are working with me, please leave a review of my work because that brings me new clients and stuff like that. So usually they will email you about a week or two after I read you. Make sure you follow those emails and send your reviews and things like that because reviews are important to me. So much love, light, and blessings. Thank you so much for watching this video. And until the next video, please like, please subscribe, comment below. And thank you so much for watching. Much love and light. Bye.